And good evening. We are back again. Can you believe it? Another week has gone by. February is behind us. We are done with February. I mean, it's over. Very excited and had a phenomenal month here. I mean, it's been an absolute amazing month, and we so thank you for uh, making it a part of that. And but with that said, we're going to kind of go over the first three slides that we went over last week. And you're probably going to say, "Well, Kerry, why do you want to do that?" Because I had more phone calls, and if you were on the training, you will remember this slide. I'm going to go ahead and move up to this slide. Hang on a second. Well, let me go ahead and get into the opening. But I was mind boggled. I mean, I get mind boggled a lot, actually, by a lot of things. But I was overwhelmed because I had one, two, three, four, either 8 or 9 phone calls, basically about the first 3 slides of last week's training. And so let's get into the training. First and foremost, welcome everybody to Wednesday night training presented by the App Wizard Studio team. It's always great to have you here and to be a part of that. If you are on our YouTube channel and you've not joined our AWS Mastermind Facebook group, you can go to facebook.com/groups or just search for AWS Mastermind on Facebook. You have to be a App Wizard Studio member, paying member, in order to be a part of the group. If you're getting into the group and you're not getting in, that's because we don't recognize your name and we don't see it as part of the platform because they don't match. They need to match up. And if you're in Facebook, we also broadcast at the same time over at App Wizard Studio YouTube channel. Just look for that little icon there and search for App Wizard Studio, and you can go into that. Real quick disclaimer. App Wizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you are watching training, you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. Now, let me point out something here on this. The most important thing you can do if you're trying to build a business and understand what you're doing and learning what you're doing is to attend training. We do training every single Wednesday night. Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, I did training on a Wednesday night. I went in the hospital on a Friday, and I was back by the next Wednesday. We didn't even miss a training. The most important thing you can do is attend training. Now, some of you probably saying, "Well, if the people aren't attending training, who are you talking to?" Well, I'm hoping that they'll catch the first 5 minutes of this training and they will say, yeah, I need to watch training. Because what happens is what happened this week, or from last week's training to this week's training, is people don't pay attention. If you're building a business and you want to make a 6-figure or 7-figure or 8-figure business and you want to build that, the only way you're able to do that is to learn. Who do you learn from? You learn from the people who are out doing it. You learn from the people who are out making money. You learn from the people who's building hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apps. And what are they doing? And that's what we teach you here in our trainings. We went through the entire platform over several weeks. That's every one of them is in this Facebook channel. A lot of them are on the YouTube channel because we were having trouble connecting our YouTube channel to the program that we're using now. But you have to attend training. You have to teach yourself. It's impossible for you to call me and 10 people call me during a week and for me to teach you everything we've been teaching since 2012. It's an impossibility. So attend training, because that's not what the phone calls are for. The phone calls are for some tweaking and finding out what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong, and to help you get over the top, to help you get to the next level. I can't hold a full training every time somebody calls, or I'd go broke. And secondly, I'm not going to do that. It's not going to happen. That's what we have training on Wednesday nights for. That's why we have the replays for, so you can go in and do the trainings. So start attending trainings. If you catch the first 5 minutes of this and you boogie out, hopefully you catch the part that says start watching the trainings. Because if you call me on something that we've been training on for the last 8 years, I'm probably going to tell you to go watch trainings. So anyway, this is what happened this week, and this is kind of mind-boggling. We had sales training last week, and on the sale itself, and the first 3 slides literally sent people in a tailspin, and that's why I say we've talked about this stuff over and over and over. So let me go to this one slide right here, and you guys will remember I said this, and I made a point to say, I know this is probably crazy to say, especially since I'm talking to everybody who has the platform, but know what you are selling. And you would be shocked when I got the phone calls this week. It says, well, Kerry, what am I supposed to be selling? Let me make this extremely clear. If you've been doing this for more than 3 months, and you don't know what you're selling, you're probably never going to learn. I mean, you're probably never, ever going to learn. And the reason you don't know what you're selling is because you're not getting out and you're not talking to people. And so we're going to go over the first 3 parts of this slide of last week's training. And I want to get as detailed as I possibly can and very explicit. And if I step on your toes, I'm sorry. Don't really care, because some people just don't get it. And sometimes the only way some people get it is to kind of say, well, okay, well, I get it now, because he hit me upside the head with it. So number 1, sell to the people who know you and like you. Okay, sell to the people who know you and like you. And I've literally been teaching this method because this is the only way I know how to sell. This is the only thing that has ever made me successful, unless you just like going out and getting beat up every day cold calling, is when you launch a business. Before you do anything, before you go out and share what you're doing, before you go out and show people what you got, if you're selling the new 2020 Corvette, okay, which is just now coming out. Matter of fact, I don't even think it's hit the stores yet, but it's just now coming out. If you're selling the new Corvette and you know it's going to be the hottest car on the market, the first thing you need to do when it's announced that the new mid-engine Corvette's coming out and it's going to be priced somewhere in the lower end, about $70,000, is you want to go to every single person you know in town and take them a flyer, take them something, take them yourself, and let them know that, hey, I am your Corvette salesman. If you want a new Corvette, I am your man. I am the person. When I got into the app business in 2011, I was looking, I had a roofing company at that time. I wasn't in the app business, okay? I had a roofing company, and I had several people come and sit down with me and said, okay, Kerry, it's going to cost you $50,000. It's going to cost you $70,000. All I wanted was an app that I could go out and collect some data in, build a database, and take that database, and when something happened, when an event happened like a hailstorm or high winds or something happened in a specific zip code, I could push a button and send a message out to those people via text message and say, hey, there was a hailstorm in your area. Don't forget, we are your roofing company. That little simple app that I found, and this is when I found App Wizard Studio. And matter of fact, I was the first reseller with App Wizard Studio. And I liked it so well, I called Woodrow and said, hey, the guy that's doing your little training videos, I said, it's kind of weird. I said, but I know a guy that might be interested in doing your training. And I said, I'll talk to him and I'll let you know tomorrow. And so I went home and I talked to my wife and I said, hey, I said, I may want to try to do something. It's going to be a little bit different. I said, I'm going to go in the app business. And she looked at me like I was crazy. And I called Woodrow the next day and I said, hey, I want to start doing your app training for you. Why? Because I was using the platform. I personally was using the platform for my business. I took my business from $100,000 the first year to $1.9 million. That's $1.9 million the second year using a mobile app built in the App Wizard Studio platform. Okay, with text message marketing attached. And I would go out and my salespeople would go out. And when they knocked on doors, they would tell the people, hey, we want to inspect your roof, blah, 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 and they went through their spiel. And when they got finished inspecting their roofs, they took pictures and they brought everything back to our secretary. They made files. And while they were there, they had that person sign up in the app for a text message response if something happened in the area. We didn't send out messages every week. We didn't send out messages. We sent out messages when hailstorms hit the area by zip code using a simple app with text message marketing that proved to me that it worked because it took my business, my company, my roofing company, not an app company, not anything else. It took that company from $100,000 to $1.9 million our second year using that app. Now, I wasn't in it to build apps. I wasn't in it to do anything else. I didn't care about anything else. But this is what we did. When no one else was out selling, because roofers are the laziest people in the world. I've never seen anything like it. That's why I went into the roofing business, because I wanted to see if I could bring my business acumen to the contractor world of roofing and change the business and actually make some money. Instead of the guys driving around in a truck that they couldn't afford and going out and putting on, 5 roofs a month, we were putting on 40 and 50 roofs a month. Why? Because of a technology called SMS marketing and a simple mobile app that we were able to go out and capture the information and do the things that we did with an app. Okay. But what did we do? We went out and sold our company. We sold our business to people. We sold who we were as a roofing company, introduced ourselves to people everywhere, okay? And when it was time to put on their roof, we were their roofing company. All we had to do was send out a simple text message and say, hey, you had storms in your area. We are your roofing company, Amro Group Roofing. Guess what? That triggered in their mind, hey, that is our roofing company. Those are the guys that came out a year ago and inspected our roofs. So we went out and sold ourselves. We sold who we were to people who did not know us. We let them know who we were so that when something happened or when they needed something in that market, we were the company. So what do I mean by sell to people who know you and like you? Get off your butt and go out, if you have not done it, and go out in your area. Don't go out and sell apps. Don't go out and do anything. You go out and you tell people who you are and what you do, and if there's anything they need. And when you walk out the door, you simply say, hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to send my business card to you. You take their phone number and you put it in your app in the SMS system. It automatically sends them the message. They say yes. Now you're in your program. They're seeing how it works, and you're not there to sell them anything. And now they know who you are and what you do. They've got your app on their phone. They see the work that you do. A lot of people will call me and say, Kerry, could you share this with me? I saw this app you built. Absolutely not. And this is why I don't share my designs. This is why we shut down the whatever you call that site that we did where people were sharing copy codes, copying apps, because people were literally stealing people's designs and going out and selling them. And then when we took that down, what happened? Nobody could design their own apps. Nobody could do their own work. Nobody could do what they were supposed to do. So you weren't selling what you did. You were selling what somebody else did. And several people got upset because their logos were being stolen. People weren't even going out and changing anything. They were just taking the stuff, you know, and you can't do that, because what happens is this: when it comes time to actually do some work, you don't know what you're doing. And so when you go out and you show somebody something that somebody else did and they want that and you can't do it, then you just took your whole business right down the toilet, and you might as well go ahead and flush it, because your business isn't going to go anywhere, because you sold them a bill of goods that's no good. Okay? You sold them something that you can't do. Go out and sell your work. Go out and do your work. Go out and do the things that you have to do. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go through the let them know up front about the cost. You can go back and watch last week's training. But how do you sell to people who know you and like you? Take your butt out of the chair. Take those two things called legs and feet. Okay? Walk out your door and go introduce yourself to your community. You don't have to go out to introduce yourself to 50 different cities. Start with your town. That's the way we did it when I joined App Wizard. I didn't even join App Wizard. All I did was I wanted to build one app. So I bought the system so I could build one app. That's what I did. You know, because I was going out, sharing and talking to people, putting them in my system so that I could do what? I could market to them. You've got to do the exact same thing. I don't care if you're selling toilet paper. Go out and leave them 2 sheets of toilet paper with your name on it and let them know that you're the best toilet paper salesman in the country and you've got the best product in the world, and you are there to help them grow their business. Now, I hope I saw 8 or 9 people watching this, and I know there's people over on YouTube watching it, and I can't see those people, but I hope the people that called me this week is listening and watching right now. Because the only way you're going to build your business is go out, and as we used to say in Navy recruiting, talk to people, talk to people, talk to people, talk to people, and talk to people. If you don't go out and talk to people, you're never going to build your business. You can't do it sitting behind your computer, posting something in a group, okay? You have to physically go. I go out every single day. I go out every single day after I'm done building apps or whatever I'm doing in my office. By about 12 o'clock, I am out in the field. I'm out in my car. I am out talking to people. I am out sharing with people. I am out selling apps. Why? Because that's how I make my money. That's how you build your business, is introducing yourself to people. Hey, what do? I design and build apps for small businesses to help them increase their traffic and footfall coming into their business. How do you do that? You got to go out and share and talk to people. Secondly, quit wasting your time. And this was this was a laughable conversation. You know, how do you know if they can afford your service? And it kind of goes back to this right here. Let them know up front what the cost is going to be. And you can go back and watch last week's training and learn how to do that. Okay, because I gave very specific instruction on that. Let them know up front what the cost is going to be, and you're going to know real quick if they can afford your services. You know, if they have the money, is that something you can afford? Is that something that will work in your budget? Well, no, that's pretty expensive. What do you want to do now? Well, I just can't afford it right now. I tell you what, Carrie, I want to thank you for your time. I'm not going to waste your time or my time. But if there's anything you can do for you, do you mind if I leave my business card with you? Sure. What's your phone number? I'm going to text it over to you. Just as don't use the share button when you're talking to a client. Does everybody understand that? Don't use the share button. Get SMS on your app and share the app via SMS so you can do what? You can capture them. You are a marketing company. If you're not showing them how it works, whether they bought or not, within that 2 minutes of closing and walking out, then you're never going to get them because they don't know what you do. And now you have them in your database, and once a month you can send them out a message. Hey, is your business mobile? If you need anything, give us a call. 903-555-555-1212. Okay? But can they afford your services? Quit wasting time. Matter of fact, just about every single person, just about every single person, just about every single person that I talked to said, I spend 30 minutes to an hour with people. And I said, can they afford your service? They said, well, I'm not sure. You got to go back and watch last week's training and learn how to do that. Okay. Because if they can't afford your services and you just spent 30 minutes to an hour with them, you just wasted 30 minutes to an hour of your life. Okay. And not going to make anything for it. Because you could have done the same thing in the first 5 minutes of the conversation and had the same impact instead of wasting your time and their time, because your time is valuable. Just because they don't have any customers in their store and they don't want to do anything to increase their footfall and increase their revenues, you can't afford to do that, because there's people out there that want your service. People out there that want your service. And if you do not know this right here, what you are selling, then you need to go back and look at every single training that we've ever done. You need to go through the platform and figure out what you're selling. You're selling the mobile business card. You're selling SMS texting. You're selling birthday programs. There's 5,000 different ways you can go in there and put these apps together. But here's the problem. Most of the people I talk to haven't even built their own app yet. How in the heck can you purchase something? How can you expect to go out and sell something that you don't have a clue what it even is? And if that's you, and you've been doing this for 3, 6, 9 months, a year, 5 years, and you still don't know, you're in the wrong business. You need to go sell something else. Go sell toilet paper. Because you're never going to be able to sell what you have because you've never got into the platform and you don't even know what's in there. Get into the platform, learn what's in there, go back and look at all the trainings in the AWS Facebook group. You can go all the way back. We went through the entire platform, every single thing, piece by piece, every single week. They're about 20 minutes long. And figure out what you want to sell and how you want to put it together. But let me go back to this. You'll never sell anything or of any quantity, okay? You're never going to get over 6 figures. You can probably never get over 5 figures if you don't learn to sell people who know you and like you. Because you're going to spend all your time cold calling. Cold calling is a long process. Going out and introducing yourself to your customers, going out and introducing yourself to your clientele that's in your immediate area is how you build a business. And if you will do that, I will guarantee you your sales will increase. But if you sit on your butt behind your desk every day and don't go out and make it happen, and I don't care if you do it, if you work during the week and you got a job, you're going to continue to be job the rest of your life, just over broke, because you're not willing to put the time in to make it happen. If you're not willing to put the time in to make it happen, it's never going to happen. So if you got a job during the week and most of the business owners are gone during after you get home, then you need to go out on a Saturday and Sunday and you need to start introducing yourself to people that are there. And eventually you'll work yourself out of your job and start making 6 figures a year. So with that said, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the question box in the Facebook page, and I will be more than happy to answer them on next week's training. And uh, this is the most, if you make it happen, the greatest business you'll ever be in, because people need to be mobile. They need to have what we have. And then the only way they're going to get it is if you go out and start sharing with them who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Everybody have a great evening. Good night. God bless. We've another edition of Wednesday Night Training presented by the App Wizard Studio team. I will see you next week. Everybody have a great evening. Good night, and finish out the week strong.